Good morning, one and all. I am Udeshri, working as assistant professor in St. Peter's Engineering College. We are discussing about Unit 1 from Metrology and Machine Tools. This is the last class, means the last part of Unit 1 from Metrology and Machine Tools. So in today's class, let us discuss about the nomenclature of single point cutting tool. So whatever the figure you are finding here is the nomenclature, means the isometric view of a single point cutting tool. We can find different parts here, but here see the shank part is the one which we hold in the check, and here this is called the cutting edge. So when we are cutting with this edge, the chip will flow on this face. So here, for the easy movement of chips over this tool, we maintain some angle here that is called as rake angle. So here when we are doing machining operation, the chips we are getting, means the waste material which we are removing, will flow over this face. So like this, in order to understand the purpose of all the parts, means to understand the purpose, to understand the study the nomenclature, let us look at the front view, top view and side view of this single point cutting tool. So this side, see wherever you can see this angle, this back rake angle. So this is the front view of the cutting tool, and whatever you are seeing from the top, this is called the top view, and this side is the side view. So now let us look at its three views. So here see, this is the front view where you can see the back rake angle, and this is the top view, and this is the side view. Now let us look at that isometric view once again so that we get some clarity. Okay, see here you have some back rake angle, this side is the front side, okay, and this side is the, means wherever you are finding the top part of it is the top view, and from the side you will find this all angles. Now I will show you the isometric view once again. See, from here you can see this angle, this is the front view, from here this is the top view, and if you look at it from this side, you can find all these lines because there will be some angle maintained here also. So that's why you are finding many lines over there. So now let us look at the purpose of all these things. What for you have this face, what for you have edge, what for you have clearance. So let us look at all these things. See, now first look at this uh, top view. This is shank. So this is the part which we hold in the tool bit, and so by holding this we will continue the machining operation. So this is the face radius. The purpose of this face radius is to get the smooth finish, and if you have larger nose radius like this, it will be helpful for smooth surface finish. You can run even if you run the machine at higher speeds, you can get a smooth surface finish. And if you have a larger radius, as a result what happens is the tool will not touch the surface and you don't get any rough surfaces. But if you don't have this nose radius, what happens is it will go and touch the surface, and because of those sharp edges which are present, it will create some irregularities over the surface. So that is about this nose radius and shank. See, edge cutting angle is, see here you have some angle, okay, based on this angle, means you will be having this angle, and this is the edge which is used for cutting the tool. So we maintain all these angles because the tool, see when cutting process is going on from this point, this tool should not touch the workpiece. So that's why we maintain this angle. Next, see next one is this front view. This is a shank, as I told you, this will be fitted into the uh, tool bit. This is a base, it means the bottom part of the shank is called as base. So this is the back rake angle. Here we will have some angle so that the the chips will flow over this, and it will get broken here also. So here this angle is called as rake angle. We have three different types of rake angles: positive rake angle, negative rake angle and neutral rake angle, which we have discussed in the previous slides. uh, see okay, if you are cutting, let me explain the same thing once again. See, for example, if you have some workpiece like this, and if you have some tool like this, and if your machining is going on like this, then we call it as positive rake angle. and if your tool is straight and if it is going like this, then we call it as neutral rake angle, and if your tool is going like this, then we call it as negative rake angle. So like this we have three different types of rake angles. So depending upon the type of material which we are using and depending upon the tool and feed speed and depth of cut, we choose which type of rake angle to be required. And next one is, see here you have some clearance angle, end relief angle, end clearance angle. So all this relief angle, side relief angle, all these angles are for making a smooth movement of tool over the workpiece, and so that there will be easy movement of the chips, and also it will avoid the irregularities. So this is the thing. So if you look at the side part of this, you will find this view, and this is a cutting edge, and these are the side rake angles and side relief angles. As I told you, these relief angles will be used for smooth movement of tool over the workpiece. So this is about nomenclature of single point cutting tool. Next one is lathe attachment. See, we will perform different operations over the lathe machine. So in order to perform these different operations, we have to make some different attachments. See, for example, if you want to make a grinding operation over the lathe machine, then you have to attach a grinding tool for that. Similarly, milling, boring, taper turning, uh, gear cutting and spherical turning attachment. Now let us look at all these attachments and understand it clearly. Okay. See, this is the grinding attachment. Here this is the check, and you have a tool here, and this is the grinding wheel. This will be rotating. Now depending upon the surface which you want to make grinding, based on that we will fix this angle, whether you want it 90 degrees or whether you want it cross. So here they have made some taper turning before and they are making some grinding here. So the tool is crossed like this. So this is about the grinding attachment. See, grinding operation is generally performed for smoothening the surfaces. See, for example, whatever the surface, here you are taking a conical surface, but generally even if you take a square surface, now wherever you want to remove high range, means high rate of material, means so much of material, then there we use this grinding wheel of larger grain size. So if grain size is very large, it will remove so much of material, means large amount of material will be removed. And if we use grains of smaller size, it will give us nice surface finish. So depending upon the requirement, depending upon what is the requirement you want, means what surface finish you want, based on all these things we decide which type of grinding wheel we have to fit it. Next one is milling attachment. See, this is a headstock, this is a clamping screw, this is a work post, this is the job. So here what they are doing is, here they are keeping the workpiece and they are clamping it from the top. So here in the headstock you have the tool. So this tool is performing milling operation over the lathe. Generally what we do is, over the lathe machines we perform only turning operations, step turning, taper turning, threading, knurling. We generally perform these type of operations. This is very rare. So now here if you want to perform milling operation over the lathe machine, so what we have to do is, we have to fix a workpiece like this, you clamp it, and then with the help of the tool you can perform the machining operation here. So this is about milling attachment. Next one is boring. So before knowing about the boring attachment, let us know what is boring. Boring is, see, generally we will have a hole and we will insert a boring tool and we enlarge the hole. So here in case of lathe machine, if you have made a hole with drill bit before, and then you can insert a boring attachment and then perform a boring operation. Next one is taper turning. Taper attachment, taper turning is, see, if you have some cylindrical surface and if you want to reduce its diameter gradually, then this operation is called as taper turning. And for this what you need is, you have to have a tool which is movable, so that it can change the position, so that you can get the workpiece of larger diameter to smaller diameter. It means you will get some conical shape type of thing. Okay, this is about taper attachment. Next one is gear cutting. See, here you have a gear cutting tool and here you have the required gear. Okay, so this will be moving and gear cutting tool will cut the gears. So this is about gear cutting operation. Next one is spherical turning operation. See, this tool is fixed in the check, and here you have the cutting tool. This cutting tool will make this spherical turning over this workpiece, and for this what we need is we need a easily movable, means flexibly moving tool post. Next one is capstan and turret lathe. See, what we have seen here till now are general types of lathe where you have a headstock and tailstock. Means one side you will have a headstock and another side you will have a tailstock. But here what happens is, instead of having a tailstock, here you will have a turret. See, on both the things, see here in this capstan lathe and also on turret lathe, on both the things you have turret. So here what happens is, on the turret we will be having different types of cutting tools. Now let us look at this capstan turret first. So this capstan turret is very small in size, and you can make components only up to 60 mm length. So here this turret cannot be moved for longer distances. So it is very limited. You cannot produce many components, many different types of components of various lengths. Here the length is limited. But the thing is, here the advantage is the turret will move and it will give support so that you can make different operations, and this turret cannot move in sideward direction, it will be stable. Okay. But here in case of capstan lathe, this turret can move in all the directions, and it has a limit up to 200 mm. So you can make it, you can make machining of components which are very lengthy. And here it can be movable, the turret can be moved in either ways. Now let us look at few more differences between both the things. Here see, capstan lathe is light duty. As I told you, you can make machining of only small components, lightweight component, and here the head is mounted on the ram and ram is mounted on the saddles, and it cannot be moved. As I told you, you cannot move, so that there is a limitation over the machining processes. And next, the lengthwise movement of the turret is less. Short workpieces only can be machined. Turret, it is easy to move the turret head as it slides over the ram. The turret head cannot move crosswise. I told you, only in turret lathe you can move it in crosswise. In capstan lathe you cannot move sidewards. And the construction of lathe is not rich, heavy duty cannot be given. It means you cannot make machining of heavy components. The component should be very light. It is used for machining workpieces up to 60 mm diameter. So there is a restriction over the diameter also, but in case of turret lathe you can go up to 200 mm diameter. Next, see, you have two things. See, in case of capstan lathe you have a collet, and in case of turret lathe you have a check. Now let us look at the figure once again. See, this is the collet and this is the check here. So this is about capstan and turret lathe. Next one is single spindle lathe. See, we have different types of lathe. Single spindle lathe, multi spindle lathe. In case of single spindle lathe, you have only one spindle. It means, see, for the headstock you have a chuck, and in the chuck you have mounted one tool. Okay, and only one tool will perform one operation at a time on one workpiece. So this is single spindle lathe. So whatever the lathe machines we have studied till now are single spindle lathes. Now let us look at multi spindle lathe. See, this is the multi spindle lathe. So here what happens is, you have n number of spindles like this. So here, yeah, n number of spindles attached like this, and over this n number of, means how many spindles you have, based on that you will get tools from different directions to perform the machining operation over this spindle. So now, in order to understand this picture in detail, let us look at its 3D view. See, this is the 3D view. See, here you have different spindles attached. See, here you can attach one spindle, here you can attach one spindle, here you can attach, here, here, here. So everywhere you can attach different spindles, and the spindles will rotate at different speeds, and different cutting tools will come to perform different machining operations over this. So here what happens is, there is an advantage of getting more number of components in less time over a single machine. So this is about multi spindle lathe. Next one is tool layout. Tool layout is, see, if we want to perform some operation, there will be some sequence in the operation. So based on the sequence of operations, we decide what tools do we require in order to make this machining operation. Now if you look at this uh, workpiece or the component which you have over here, in order to make this component, we have to first decide what tools do we require. See, for example, here if you take example of this, initially we have to make some drilling operation here with a diameter of 10, and next here, after making this drilling operation, we have to make a larger drill of diameter 20, and after making this operation, then we have to go for turning over this. So or else you will make a lengthy turning, first a finished turning, and later we'll make first a rough turning, and over that we'll make some finished turning and get this diameter of 30. Okay, and if you have some excess length over this side, then we cut it off. Okay, this is called parting. It means cutting off is called as parting. So here we have different operations. So for drilling this, see, you need some tool for making a dia of 10, you need some other tool for making a dia of 20, and you need a single point cutting tool in order to make this turning operation. Okay, and in order to make this parting, here you need a parting tool. So here we are in requirement of different tools. So depending upon the type of operation which you want to perform, you have to decide the sequence of tools. So here what we do is, this is the shape of turret which you have over the lathe. So here we'll give the sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not mandatory that you will have 6. We have larger machines where you have a larger capacity of tools. So here what happens is, we'll keep all the tools over here, and now see, if you want to perform some operation like this, and here see, you want a diameter of 10. So here you have a drill of diameter 10. So what we do is, in order to perform this operation, we select tool 3. So like this, for if you are making a same component, means if it is a mass production or continuous production, whatever the production like this, where you get large volume of material, in such cases what we do is, as the tool which you have to use is constant, we fix all those tools in a sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or else, even if your tool is not in sequence, if you know the order of tool, whether it is the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, or sixth one, when you know the sequence, when you are writing a program, what we do is, we write a tool layout. It means which tool should come first and which tool should come next. And another thing is, based on the requirement, based on the component which we are manufacturing, we even take the cutting tool from the stores. So based on the operation which you want to perform, we can arrange the different types of tools here. So this is about unit 1 of metrology and machine tools. Let us look at the syllabus of unit 1, so that we'll get a confirmation that we have covered all the topics. See, introduction to metal cutting, elements of cutting process, geometry of single point cutting tool, chip formation and types of chips, engine lathe, principle of working, types of lathe, specifications, taper turning, lathe attachment, capstan and turret lathe, single spindle and multi spindle automatic lathes, and tool layout. So with what I have covered till today, we have finished unit 1 of metrology and machine tools. For any queries, please keep a message. Thank you.